All right, let's dive into one of the most incredible journeys in the history of thought. We're going to follow the philosopher René Descartes as he decides to do something, well, kind of crazy. He's going to throw out every single belief he has just to find one thing, one single truth that is absolutely 100% certain. This is a quest that starts in total doubt and ends up rebuilding our entire understanding of reality.
So, how do you even start something that massive? Well, Descartes begins with the most fundamental way we think we know things, our senses. I mean, think about it. You've seen an optical illusion, right? Or a mirage on a hot road that looks like a puddle of water. Your eyes are lying to you. Then he really turns up the heat. What if this moment right now is just a dream? We've all had those dreams that feel so incredibly real. You can feel and see and hear everything. So if you can't be absolutely sure you're not dreaming this very second, how can you trust anything you're experiencing? And here it is, the final, most extreme level of doubt. What if there's some kind of powerful, evil genius out there whose only job is to trick you, to make you believe that 2 + 2 = 4 when it really doesn't? If that's even a tiny possibility, then everything we think we know just completely falls apart. Now, this wasn't just some fun mental puzzle for Descartes. He was on a serious mission. He wanted knowledge that was completely unshakable, a foundation so solid that no amount of doubt could ever crack it. He was tired of opinions and what other people said. He needed absolute certainty. And to get there, he used this amazing tool he called methodic doubt. The key here is that it's a method. It's not about being a pessimist. Think of it more like a controlled demolition. You have to clear away all the weak, shaky parts of the building to find the solid bedrock underneath. And so here we go, down into the abyss of doubt. And the very first thing to get tossed out? Our own senses. This is the classic example, and it's perfect. You put a straight stick in a glass of water, and it looks bent. Our eyes are telling us one thing, but we know the reality is something else. And Descartes' point is simple but powerful. If our senses can fool us even once, we can't trust them to be the foundation for absolute truth, ever. So, there's our first major conclusion. Any knowledge that comes from our senses, everything you see, hear, taste, and touch, it's all gotta go. It's now officially in the doubt pile. Next up, he goes after the very idea of reality itself with the dream argument. I mean, seriously, how do you know you're awake? There's no foolproof test you can perform inside a dream that proves you're dreaming. Which means there's no foolproof test you can do right now to prove that you're not. The entire physical world is now in question. This is the final boss of doubt, the evil genius. This isn't just about senses or dreams anymore. This is a thought experiment designed to rip apart the very fabric of logic and math. What if a super powerful being could just be messing with our minds, making us get the wrong answer every time, even with something as basic as arithmetic? And just like that, we've hit rock bottom. The world you see around you could be fake. Your own body might not even be there. Science, math, all of it could be a giant cosmic prank. Descartes has successfully put himself in a position of total, absolute skepticism. Nothing seems certain. But it's right here, in this total darkness, at the very bottom of the abyss, that he finds it. A single spark of light. One truth that is so powerful, no amount of doubt can put it out. Just think it through with him. Even if that evil genius is real, and he's tricking me about everything, even if my entire life is a dream, even if my senses are always lying, for any of that to happen, there has to be an I for it to happen too. You can't deceive something that doesn't exist. You can't doubt if there isn't a you doing the doubting. The very act of thinking, of doubting, is proof of existence. And that brings us to maybe the most famous phrase in all of philosophy. Cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. This is it. This is the bedrock. The one, unbreakable, absolutely certain truth that Descartes was looking for. You can't doubt your own existence, because the very act of doubting proves that you exist as a thinking thing. Okay, so we've got one tiny piece of solid ground. I exist. But what even is this I? And how on earth does this one little fact help us get back to knowing anything about the universe? Well, this is where Descartes starts building a bridge from his own mind back to the rest of reality. So what is this I? Descartes says at its very core, it's a thinking thing, a consciousness, a mind. He can't be sure he has a body yet. That's part of that external world he's still doubting. But he is absolutely positively sure that he has a mind that doubts, wills, and imagines. And this is where we get the famous idea of mind-body dualism. Now, as Descartes looks at the ideas floating around inside his own mind, he finds a really strange one. The idea of a being that is infinite, all-powerful, and totally perfect. You know, the idea of God. And that makes him ask a huge question. He knows he himself is limited and imperfect. So where did this idea of ultimate perfection even come from? Okay, so he lays out the logic like this. The argument rests on a simple principle. You can't get more from less. An effect can't be greater than its cause. So he thinks, I have this idea of infinite perfection in my head, but he knows he's finite and imperfect. There's no way he could have just invented the idea of true perfection out of his own imperfect mind. Therefore, the only possible source, the only possible cause for this idea must be a being that is actually perfect and infinite. He called this his trademark argument, like a creator stamping his own mark, the idea of himself onto his creation. And with that, the proof of God's existence, the whole system of knowledge can finally be rebuilt. Because if a perfect being exists, that changes everything for his quest for certainty. Here's how it all connects. By definition, a perfect being has to be good. And deception, well, that's a flaw, an imperfection. So, a perfect God wouldn't be a great deceiver. And that means the evil genius, that ultimate weapon of doubt, is finally defeated. God guarantees that our ability to reason, as long as we do it clearly and distinctly, is reliable. And there you have it, the whole logical path. Descartes starts by doubting everything, which forces him to discover the one thing he can't doubt, his own existence as a thinking self. From that single point of certainty, he argues for the existence of a perfect God. And that God, in turn, guarantees that our minds can trust things like science and math again. It's a truly revolutionary way of rebuilding all of knowledge on the foundation of the individual mind. Descartes' journey completely changed philosophy. It changed how we think about our own minds, about reality, and about what it means to be certain. It's an incredible thought experiment that shows even in moments of the deepest doubt, the act of questioning itself proves something amazing. So let me leave you with this. After all that, what's the one thing that you find to be absolutely certain?